Let's get right into it. We're going to dive right in. As you guys came in, you should have gotten 3 things that you will be putting into your binders that I asked you to bring today. I've been asking for a week already. If you don't have one, I don't know what to tell you. First thing, this is going to go on top. This is, just so you know, take a quick glance at it. This summarizes the last year and a half of Algebra 2 that you've taken. It's not huge. I liked it because it's not a huge packet. All right, if you go through it real quickly, it gives a bunch of formulas that you need and some different concepts that you've done already this year. Okay? So some of this stuff may look familiar from this year. You might say, hey, we did that last year. I may not know how to do it or remember anything, but I know we did it last year. Okay, so please keep this handy. This goes right on top in your binder, followed by, everyone ready, the June exam and the August exam. So in order, cold facts you need to know down cold. On top of the June exam, on top of the August 2017 exam. Those 3 right in your binder like that. You guys could guess already, but these 2 exams are practice exams. These are 2 out of the 11 I'll be giving you. Okay, 2 out of 11. That's why I've asked for a binder to keep these all straight. Okay. All right, so that's all organized now. You now know what the cold facts are for your reference. Okay, I do this little presentation before we start any reviewing of the Regents exam every year, so you guys can just hang loose here for a second. Guys, we have 18 more class days, including today, left. 18 to review a year and a half. Okay, 18 class days left. Before we start, I want to remind you guys what I have given you so far this year. Basically, no homework. I said, hey, try out these, and if you wanted to, you could. If not, there was no penalty. So, realistically, no homework. Any test that you missed, you could really make up on your own schedule. I never said this day and this time. You need to make it up. It's on your schedule. And I'm not having you guys purchase any of those green books, so you don't have to wander down the school store, write in small spaces, or pay any extra money for math class. All right, so just remember that. Because in return, I'm going to ask for a couple things. That you show up, be on time. All right, if you don't come to class for whatever reason, I am going to be all over you about what you watched in the video. Okay, so showing me the notes now isn't going to be good enough. I want you to show me the notes, and I'm going to ask a couple questions here or there to see if you really did watch the video. All right, so if you plan on being out, be prepared to watch that thing and take some detailed notes from it. The whole bathroom stuff, do it at a different period, sorry. Do a different class, okay? When you come to class, stay in class, all right? You come to class like a minute before the bell rings, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Do it at somewhere else. Do it at another time, please, because here's the deal. You miss about 10 minutes of class, you're probably missing a topic I'm never going to review again in these 18 days. All right, so please try to do it in a different class. Don't forget any of these, all right? I know people don't have binders yet, but that's not an excuse to forget these. All right, so lockers in your car for warmth because you try to burn them. All right, please bring them to class, be responsible. Whew, no more excuses, all right? This is really more for my 3rd period class, but I hear some of it once in a while in here. I'm bad at math. I don't like you. That's always a good one, even though I don't care what you do outside of here. And this is boring. All right, I don't care, guys. I don't care. My job is try to get you through one of the toughest Regents exams you're going to take in your high school career. 18 class days from now. All right, and I don't want to hear any of the excuses. I'll tell you what, if you're tired and you want to take a nap, honestly, just leave the classroom and go down to restricted study hall. I'd rather have just the people who are going to give me effort than people who are going to take naps or just doodle on their paper. If that's the case, be prepared. I will ask you to leave class now. All right, I am just all in getting you guys, trying to get you guys through this exam. Ask people who have taken already. They will tell you this is not easy one bit. Okay, so end the excuses. I don't want to hear them. I told you, give effort. This is like my speech from the first day of class. You give effort, I'll do whatever I can to help you guys out. Anything I can do, I will do it. All right, sit down with you for however long during a free period after school. Once the Regents exam approaches in January, I think I'm going to have a weekend session and probably a couple night sessions, all right, in addition to that morning of the exam, which I'll be here available too. Okay? And then don't be afraid to ask questions. Questions about anything, what I expect here the next 18 days. It's going to get real, and it's going to start today. All right? If you thought it was impossible, that my intensity will pick up, and my expectations of you will pick up as well. Anything you want to ask there now that I've laid down the timeline here and expectations. Okay. Before we begin, every Friday you will be given a review quiz. The review quiz will consist of 20 questions. You are allowed to pick 10 out of the 20 you want to answer. You do not have to answer all 20. You will pick 10 out of the 20 you want to answer, and it'll be worth 2 points apiece every Friday. The topics will be the ones we cover during the week. Okay, so every Friday, 20 questions, you pick 10, and I'll score those 10 out of, and then everything will be out of 2 points. All right? Questions about anything here before we get going? Okay, before I get into actual review questions. There we go. Before I get into actual review questions, I wanted to let you know some info about this test you're going to take on January 24th. There's the setup. I won't read it to you, but there's the setup. It's 86 total points, 4 parts. And 40, see how 48 points is multiple choice? That's 55% of the test is made up of the multiple choice. Okay, 55% is made up of multiple choice. There is one big dog question at the end, part 4. That's 6 points. All here, these 3 parts, you can earn partial credit on. Nothing, no partial credit on part 1. All right, what's going to get me to pass? What is going to get me to pass? Well, it's out of 86. Let me show you the chart, the conversion chart from last January. So the kids who took it last January, they had to get a 27 out of 86 to pass. Okay, a 27 out of 86. And if you go back, that's about 13, 14 multiple choices out of the 24, and then the rest is just gravy, whatever you're adding on partial credit-wise. Okay, so again, 27 out of the 86 points to pass, around there. Could be 25, could be 28, I don't know. But this was from last January, so I took it from there. Now, I get it. I know what's going through your minds right now. Oh, this is going to be this is a joke, 27 points. Well, there's 3 camps in here. First camp, I could give the exam to right now. Pass, no problem. Second camp, with a little effort, little review effort, we can get you past that 27 and up into the 70s, maybe even 80s range. But unfortunately, we got a group also that I'm nervous that you may not reach that 27. Okay, I am nervous that we're going to end up somewhere in the are you kidding me zone. Okay, I am. Both classes. You guys and period 6 are just a group of people where I'm just concerned about, am I going to be able to reach that 27 plateau or not? All right, so that's why I'm going to treat all of you the same. Okay, I know some of you could easily just take it now if I had the exam on me and be fine, but I got to worry about those bottom end people too. All right, are we ready to go? We're going to start in the August exam, everyone. August exam, everyone have a calculator ready to go because this first question I'm going to be reviewing with you requires a calculator to do all the work. Bottom drawer of my desk. You are going to go to question number 36. I like to bounce around from the partial credit parts to multiple choice. August exam, everybody. I picked this one on purpose to start with. You haven't done this before. This is totally brand new to you. This is usually done in the statistics unit that we just finished, but it doesn't have a good spot in the statistics unit. All right, it's kind of an oddball, so we decided to do it during Regents review. All right, so I'm going to spend a while on this, so I apologize for some of you if you know how to do this already. Okay, again, this is a statistics question, but it just doesn't fit in the statistics unit well, so we're going to be doing a bunch of them during review. So you have a chart. One side's hours, the other side is number of spores. First question, it's a 2-part question. First question, write an exponential regression. And some of you, whoa, wow, there's a term, huh? Okay. Well, first of all, before I show you where to go, because your calculator will do all the work for part A, where do you think these are going? Where have I put in these numbers in the table before? In a list. Yep. List 1, list 2. Go right ahead. List 1, list 2. Yep. List 1, list 2. You guys are here for 3 hours to take. You have up to 3 hours to take this. Take your time if you're going to type numbers into a list, because I'm sure some of you have found out 1 digit makes a huge difference if you miss it. All numbers in list. All numbers. People finishing up. We all good? Okay. Where do I go now for these regression equations? I need you first here off to the side. There's going to be 4 different types of regressions you need to be responsible for the Regents. 4 type. Okay. The regressions are all under, you've been here before. You just haven't noticed because you weren't using it. Stat calculate. All the regressions we're going to need are under stat calculate. Now you see everything that ends in reg? Those are regressions, but you're not responsible for all of them. For the Regents, there's only 4 of them. Let me point out the 4 you're going to need. The first one is number 4, lin regression. That's short for linear regression. All right, so here in your notes, choice number 4, lin reg. Make sure you know that's the same as if the question asked for a linear regression. Okay, so if I change this and said write in linear regression, I would want option 4. Do not confuse that with option 8. Okay, we will never use option 8. Okay, option 4 is where I go ax plus b. I don't need the x over here. All right, ax plus b, that's where we're staying. Okay, I don't need any of these. Keep scrolling down. Go to what's after 9. Everyone see what's after 9? EXP regression. Guess what that stands for? There's our exponential. Don't choose it yet, though. I'm not done talking about it. So what was that number? Was that 0? Or yep. So 0, EXP regression. That's equal to exponential regression. Okay, keep scrolling down. I want to show you another one that we may be asked to use, and that's the one right underneath at A. PWR, short for power. Power regression. Okay, so choice A. PWR reg. Power regression. You may be asked to write the equation of a power regression. And there's one more you may. Let's see, where is it? Nope. There it is. SIN regression. Guess what that's for? Sine regression. Yeah. What letter was that? C. So C. Not a sin regression. You're better than that. Sine regression. Any of these 4 could be asked. Okay? Any of the 4. Okay, so go ahead. Go to choice A. Enter. Because we want an exponential regression. So go back to choice A. Enter. And then our screen will pop up. You guys put it in 2 lists, right? So make sure you tell the calculator, yep, X is in L1, Y is in L2. There's no frequency. I don't need to store it anywhere. So just make sure you tell it L1, L2. What, Lucas? Thank you. Appreciate that. That would have been embarrassing at the end there. So how about I get exponential 0? There we go. There we go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for finally contributing. Only took you 18 weeks. L1, L2. Nothing else in here. Go ahead, calculate it. Now, does anybody have extra values other than what I'm showing? Do you have R's there? Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. All right, as long as you got A and B, that's all I'm concerned about. It's got A and B. Okay, so how do I write the equation? The first line, no matter what regression you use, the first line tells you how to write it. All right, now you are not required to write that on the test, but I'm just going to write it up here. Y equals A times B, and then there's a little caret we'll talk about, X. You don't have to write that. I'm just going to show you how we're going to write the actual equation. Does everyone have values for A and B in their calculator that we're going to plug in right now? But be careful. Read. Round it to the nearest thousandth. How's our rounding ability in here? I've kind of taken it for granted first 2 quarters. What's thousandth? I should have how many numbers after the decimal? 3. So you look at the fourth one if it's a round or not. Okay, so what's the A value? Look at your calculator. Now I'm going to start calling on people. What's the A value rounded to the nearest thousandth on your calculator? Nine. What's your A value? There you go. 4.168. Keep going with me. Times, right? So you can put a dot. You can put a parenthesis. You can put the little star there. Whatever floats your boat. We're multiplying now. What's your B value? B value now rounded to the nearest thousandth. B value, 15. 3.981. And what's this? Anybody know? Symbols here. What's this caret tell me to doing? Raise it to the X. Oh, there goes. Wrong number on the phone. It's okay. I'm teaching. That's embarrassing. Got a vibrate there in the back. And it's a number, it's not even anybody I know. Okay, everybody good? What, that I could see it from my watch or? Yeah, that's all I need. There's your exponential regression right there. Everyone, the calculator did all the work, right? Well, unfortunately, we got to do some work now. Every single time the Regents is going to ask for a regression equation, always they will follow it up with a part B, where they will give you a number to plug in for either X or Y, and we need to solve for the other variable. Every time they're going to do it. Every time. So go ahead, read through here. They give me the number 100. I need to know where that 100 gets plugged in for, Y or X. And remember your table up above. X is hours, Y is average number of spores. So I need to know, into my equation you've just created, where do I plug that 100 into? Where's that 100 going in for? Here we go. 4. In 4, because the 100 is the number of spores. So I'm going to plug it in for Y. 100 equals 4.168, 3.981. And you're solving for X, the number of hours. Whew, this is when review gets real now. You're not going to like this at all. All right, I'm just bracing everybody for impact. Need X by itself. Whoa, first thing you're not going to do. Get rid of it. Get out of your mind. You cannot multiply those two. Cannot multiply those two. Okay, cannot multiply the 4.168 and the 3.981. But I still have to get X by itself somehow. This goes together, right? Here we go. This goes together. So is there any way I can get rid of 4.168? Don't subtract. Divide it out. Yes, divide both sides by that leading number. 4.168. Get the exponent and the base all by itself. Whew. Hey guys, are we done with this problem yet? So don't round. You don't round a darn thing in here until we're done, officially done with the problem. So if you need to ice your wrist because you have to write out that full calculator display, I'll bring in some ice packs tomorrow. All right, but I think we're all set. Don't round anything to the end. We all good with this? We all getting the same numbers, 23.99? What the heck are you going to do with that x, huh? I got to solve for it, right? Hey, why don't I just start plugging in random numbers and see if I have, yeah, good try. Good luck. Let me know how that goes. I know you have 3 hours, but you might be spending all of it on that one. Anybody remember? This is the last year one. I had nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. How I solve for x now. Oh, he said it, didn't he? He said it. Got to use logs. Yep. And any time the variable is in the exponent, I need logs to get it down. Okay, I need logs because watch, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it here. Right next to it. But to be able to do that, he's absolutely correct. I need to log both sides, take the log of both sides before I'm allowed to do that. Now the x can come in front, and you have to log both numbers. Anybody for a little bonus credit? Remember what that rule was called in logs? Began with a P and an hour. Power rule? Power rule? What were you thinking? H-O-U-R? Yeah. Okay, there's the tough part. How do I get x by itself now? It's being multiplied by the log of 3.981. What do I do on both sides? Divide both sides by, how do you want to get that x by itself? What do you want to divide by? The entire thing, log 3.981. And somebody asked, it was a decent question, not going to lie. Decent question, third period. Do the logs cancel each other out? No, they don't. Okay, no, they don't. Everyone has a fraction template. Everyone knows where the log button is, right above your on button. Ooh, no, I'm not there yet. Right next to your 7. Couple up from your on button. I'm getting all crazy with the store because I know we need to use it soon. Okay, so use your fraction template. And this is another thing too. Keep bringing your calculators every day because you need to be familiar with it. The last thing I need you guys to do January 24th is use a buddy's calculator. You have no idea how it works. Make sure we're getting the same value, about 2.3 something. Notice I wrote it all out because I'm not ready to round yet. Everyone getting that out of the calculator? Patrick, real quick, what's the rounding directions for this answer? Quarter hour, guys, quarter hour. So I know it's 2 hours, right? Everyone knows I know it's 2 hours. But a quarter, is it 2:15, 2:30, 2:45? I don't know. How can I figure out what's, because it's either going to be 2 hours and 15, 2 hours and 30, 2 hours and 45. Every quarter hour. Well, it's 0.3, right? It's not 0.5. 0.5 would be what? 0.5 would be a half hour, right? 2 hours and 30 minutes. So here's what I got to figure out. Is that 0.3 closer to 15 or is it closer to 30? Any way you can help me figure that out, because that's the predicament I'm in right now. Is that 0.3 closer to 15 minutes or closer to 30 minutes? Any way I can figure it out, Cooper? Quarter of an hour would be 0.25, right? Half an hour would be 0.5. Where's 0.3 closer to? Where's 0.3 closer to? 0.25. So what's it going to be? 2 hours and 15 minutes. The other way you could do it, hey, ready? How many minutes in an hour? 60. You have 0.3. What's 0.3 times 60? Check it out on your calculator right now. 0.3 times 60. What do you got for me? Is that closer to 15 or 30? Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is why this test is so darn tough. You guys nailed the algebra part by doing logs, and then you're like, are you kidding me? A quarter of an hour? Yep. That's what we're in for. 4-point question right here. 4 points. All right. At least get that top part right where your calculator does all the work. This is not the last time you'll see regression equations. We're going to do a bunch of them so you get used to your calculator. All right, let's go to 1. Here we go. What do we learn from last year and this year? Woohoo! Here we go. All the new stuff's done now. And yes, I have been, I don't know if it's truth or not, but I have been told they go from easiest to toughest 1 through 24. Here we go. What value of x makes that fraction undefined? All right, let's start. You got to know what that word means. Undefined. Anybody? A little vocab here. Undefined. Denominator. Could care less about the numerator. When is the denominator equal to 0? So that's exactly what you do. You take the denominator right out and you set it equal to 0. Now it's up to you guys. At this point, I think you should be able to handle that. What are you doing with it? That's all I want. Here we go. What are you doing with it? I think you don't need any geometry. What are you doing with it? 16. What are you doing with that? $16, Brooke? Yeah. Okay. What do you want to do with that? What are your numbers? I like it. Good. Shouldn't have to reteach that. So what are your two values here of x? X equals? And x equals? Nice job. Yeah. You could also, there's another option. Cooper says, hey, can I just store these in my calculator and plug them in for x, see which one I get 0? Yeah, absolutely. No. Questions from you guys? Let's revisit the old I. Number 2. Let's revisit I. Not yet, but we will in a sec. What are you doing here? 3k minus 2i all squared. What should I be doing with that? There's one thing I hope you're not doing, one thing you are doing. What can I do with that? Let's do 13. Thank you. Do not start. Oh, I'll apply the 2 here and the 2 here. No, you're going to write it twice, Vinny. You're darn right. 3k minus 2i, 3k minus 2i. Now let's have some fun. Woo. God, keep doing that. Come on, you're better. Let's go. Who's got 9? Okay, here we go, stud. 3k times 3k. Okay, be careful here. Don't get yourself fooled. 3k times a negative 2i. Multiply the numbers, what do you get? Negative 6, and then the ki along for the ride. Keep going. What's next? Ki again. And then be careful here. Negative 2i times negative 2i. Plus 4. Okay, perfect. I like it. Do these cancel each other out? No. So 9k squared, but you can combine to make negative 12ki. All right, let's talk about this whole I business. Everyone ready? Third period tells me most of you guys were taught using the clock last year. Yes? No? No clock last year? I to the 0, I to the first, I squared, I to the third. Looking familiar a little bit? This is also in your, just so you know, this is also in your cold hard facts packet I had given you. Okay, I to the 0. Anybody remember I to the 0? Or anything to the 0? Yep. I to the first. Anything to the first. It's itself. Now we start getting nuts. I squared. Everyone remembers that one, huh? How about I to the third? Negative. Yep. And then what happens if I went to the fourth? We start repeating. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. So going back to our problem, I squared was what? Negative 1 times 4. Oh, that's never mind. Minus 4. Everyone right on this minus 4. Look, this is why, again, another reason why we have to be on our toes here. Minus 4 plus 4. Everything else, same. So even if you got to that part, you still couldn't get it. You had to know all about your eyes. Right. Any questions about the eyes there? Good review. Okay, 3. Give me a couple other different terms I could plug in other than roots. Another name for roots? Zeros, yeah. Another name. Got to ask for the roots, the zeros. Missing the big one. Begins with S. Solutions, yep. Answers, right? Somebody else added in third period x-intercepts, where it crosses the x-axis. So any one of those could come up. They all mean the same things. Find the zeros, the solutions, the x-intercepts, the roots. So basically, what are the answers for x up here? That's what I need. Class decision time. Anybody want to factor that? Two numbers that multiply to 5 and add to 2. Let me know when you get there. Still waiting. Anybody going to find those numbers? Me neither. All right, there's no numbers that multiply to 5 to add to 2. So then you and I have two different paths we could go down. Let's make a class decision. If you can't factor it, what's an option? What? You could plug in the answers here. I would just be worried with the eyes, Megan, that you would do that. All right, I would just be worried. You could. I think you could get away with it, but I'd be a little worried with the eyes up there. You can't factor. You have two different ways to solve now. Anybody remember any of the two? Quadratic formula, or another method called completing the square. Yes. I will do whatever method you guys want to do. It's up to you. Quadratic formula or completing the square. We're going to do both eventually over these 18 days, but quadratic formula. Okay. There is one advantage of doing the quadratic formula, and that is it's on the formula sheet that you'll be given. And I got to get you one of these hopefully by tomorrow. All right, so it is on there, so it's a formula you don't have to remember. Okay, so let's do quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Everything's equal to 0, so we're good. Again, on your formula sheet, don't need to memorize it. Okay, need a little help. Who's got 19? 19? We don't go up that high. You're better. And we don't go up to 20. We go up to 14, though. 14? Emma, just give me the b value. What's the b value up here that we're solving for? So negative 2 plus or minus. Hey, kids. Hey, I'm not putting a darn thing in that radical. I'm not going to plug in b squared minus 4 times a times c because I am very worried I may make a mistake and get the wrong number underneath the radical. And then it's all garbage now. How am I going to ensure that I get the right number underneath the radical? The old store key. I'm going to store A, B, and C in right now into my calculator. So let's review how to do that. What's that A value? Clear that out. 1, so ready? 1, store right above the on button, A, which is alpha math. Enter, it's in there. What's your B value? 2, store that in for B, alpha apps. And our C value is 5, store that in for C, which is under program, above program. And then I'm going to tell the calculator, figure out what b squared minus 4ac is. So that's exactly what I'm going to type in. What is b squared minus 4ac? You can never get that number underneath the radical wrong. Negative 16, everybody. Don't forget, put it over 2 times your a value. What was our a value? 1, there you go. Anybody know anything about the square root of negative 16? It's imaginary. Anybody remember? Well, watch. Ready? A little trick for you. When you take the negative out of a radical, it becomes I. Okay? So when you take the negative out of a radical, it becomes I. I take that negative out. What's left? Square root of? What's square root of 16? So this is 4I. All right? Anytime you take the negative out, it becomes I. And it's still all over 2. Not an option because you can keep simplifying. All right, need some help? Here we go. 12. 12. Okay, here we go. Ready, Anna? Piece by piece, we divide. Negative 2 divided by 2. That 2 didn't go anywhere down here. I still have to do 4 divided by 2. So plus or minus 2i. Make sure you take that denominator and divide it by both in the numerator. There it is. Just got to make sure I get the right choice, which is choice 3. And hey, look at 4. Everyone take a look at choice 4. They wanted you to do negative 2 divided by 2 and then do nothing with that 4i. Tricky. All right. Take your time. Woo. Matt, you see all these traps? You could be. We're only on number 3 for cripe's sake. All right. All these traps you could fall in. And there goes your 100. Moving on. Predictions. I always love to ask kids predictions. Yep. Well, that's a 10-point range right there. What are we talking here? 85. Mastery, as they call it. Okay, let's do it. We'll get you there. Ready for number 4? This is where we're going to finish today because this is where we finish for third period. Oh, my God. Whoa. Hello. Look at 4. Look at those radicals, huh? How am I going to solve this? I'm not going to solve it. I'm not going to solve it. Either are you. This is a multiple choice question, right? The answers are already there. What am I trying to tell you here? The answers are already there somewhere. What am I telling you? Darn right, plug them in. We got a store key. So let's take negative 6. Is negative 6 a solution? Well, let's find out. I'm going to take negative 6, store it in for x. Take negative 6, store it in for x. And now, all I'm going to do is type in that left side as is. Square root of x plus 14. Make sure you're out of the square root. Minus square root of, what was it, 2x plus 5? Yep. Let's see, does that equal 1? Nope. It gives me a non-real answer, so that's not going to be it. So let's try out, what's next up? 2. So store 2 in for x. And here's what's great about most of your calculators, I think. You don't have to retype the radicals. Can a lot of you just go up and copy paste? Perfect. Perfect. This is a guaranteed 2 points right here. Let's check that one. What did I do wrong? One job. Let's try that again. Whoa, we got 1 as an answer, yes? But hey, whoa, whoa! Don't get all happy here and thinking ding, 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 ding. Why not? Isn't there 2 choices that have 2 as an answer? So now you still have to, before we're done with this problem, you still have to check what? 22. So go ahead, check 22. Let me know what you get back. What do you get back? -1. So what do we know? 22, not a solution. It's just got to be 2. Nice job, kids. Bring it every day now. Bring it every day. 17 more days to go.